So we've been working on solving multi-step equations. So here's kind of a quick recap video from when we're in class, in case you get stuck on any of our problems. Big thing about solving any sort of equation is the goal is to isolate the variable. Using inverse operations, we're trying to get our variable x, y, whatever the letter it is, to be by itself on one side of the equation. We have to keep track of like terms, so we want to combine them as best we can. And remember, like terms have to not only be the same letter, but they also have to be the exact same power. And last but not least, we want to deal with any distributive properties that we may end up getting in a problem. So start with a two-step equation. Sometimes I like to draw the lines across the equal sign to keep me organized on my page, especially here on the computer. It just helps me line everything up. So I've got two numbers that have to go away for x to be by itself. So the ultimate goal is to have this say x equals over here on the left. For x to be by itself, we have to move the 4, and we have to move the negative 19. When we solve equations, we always want to do the operation that's furthest away from x and the lowest on gems is typically what we want to do. Now every problem is slightly different, so we have to approach it differently. The other way you can think about it is if I were to put a number in for x right here, let's just say we put in a 1, what operation happens first and then what operation happens next? The first thing would happen is we would multiply. We would then subtract. So we want to do the exact opposite order. So we're going to move the 19 first and then the 4. So that's one way to kind of check the order of it is I'm going to plug a number in. What happens first goes last. So in this case, I am subtracting 19, so I want to do the opposite, my inverse operation. So we're going to add 19 to both sides. We need these two numbers to create 0, so they go away. Negative 19 and a positive 19 do indeed create 0. We carry down the 4x. Negative 31 and the positive 19 combine to give us a negative 12. We're multiplying by the 4, so we do the exact opposite of multiplication, which is division. So we divide by 4. The two 4's here cancel out, technically leave us with a 1. We don't have to write the 1 because 1 times x is just x. But in the process of getting rid of the 4, we created a 1. Negative 12 divided by 4 gives us negative 3. X is isolated, and we have our answer. Maybe before we start, we have some like terms we have to combine. Now for me, solving equations, before I get one side to start talking to the other, so before I go, I'm going to subtract 12 to this side and that side, I make sure each side is as simple as possible. So it's going to be as if, there it is. This doesn't even exist. I'm going to make this expression over here as simple as possible. So I'm going to put the 5x and the negative 3x together and get 2x. I'm going to put the 12 and the 4 together for a positive 16. Carry down the other side of my equation, and we get 2x plus 16 equals negative 18. Now it's a two-step equation. Same thing. The 16 is the furthest away, so we're going to subtract 16 from both sides. Carry down the 2x. Negative 18, negative 16 gives us negative 34. Divide both sides by 2, and x is negative 17. Right? If we have a problem with distributive property, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the parentheses. So we're going to distribute the 3. Gives us negative 6x plus 18 is equal to negative 18. Two-step equation again. Subtract 18 from both sides. We get negative 6x equals negative 36. I'm going to divide by a negative 6. That way, not only do the 6 become 1s, but the two negatives become a positive. so it could be a positive 1x. Negative 36 divided by negative 6 is a positive 6. We have some distributive property and some like terms here, so first thing we're going to do is distribute the negative 6. Gives us 66 plus 42m plus 1 is equal to 277. Combine my like terms, I get 42m plus 67 is equal to 277. Subtract 67 from both sides. Oops, 67. That gives us 42m is equal to 210. And if I do my math correctly, I divide both sides by 42, and I believe 210 divided by 42 is 5. So maybe we have a problem with two distributive properties. We can deal with that. We distribute these two numbers, so I get 5a plus 40. Distribute the negative 10, not just the 10, negative 10, get negative 60a plus 20 equals 60. Combine my like terms, so I get negative 55a. Combine our other terms gives us 60 is equal to 60. Subtract 60 from each side, and we get negative 55a is equal to 0. Now, a lot of people look at this and go, well, we can't do anything with this. We're kind of stuck. Just because it equals 0 does not mean the problem is over. We do the next step as if this number wasn't a 0. We would divide both sides by a negative 55. This cancels out to a 1, so we get 1a. And 0 divided by anything is just 0. And that's the answer to this problem.